Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in this session, let us going to look at into the legal jurisprudence. In the first video, we have looked at into the jurisprudence, which is interdisciplinary as well as multidisciplinary in nature. So I just give you some kind of the example, and today let us continue that how more it is interdisciplinary in various realms or various domains. How it is. In the first video, I have given the definition along with that and definition, and there are various theories. Salmon gives the theory, Holland, various theories are given, and that theory is very much easy. General specific jurisprudence means what, and there is not much to explain that. So let us analyze that about various sociology, philosophy, how it deals with the science. So let us analyze just thinking out of the box. It may not directly helpful for the exam. If you learn or if you able to think like this, it will directly able to impact your career as a lawyer or an advocate in the future times to come. So the first one is in the legal jurisprudence domain. The first one is that this one it deals with the sociology. How legal jurisprudence deals in the domain of sociology. So what is meant by sociology? Sociology is nothing but it deals with the society. There is no ideal society. Like ideal society means what? There is every people must be good and they don't do any kind of the unethical things, like society must be perfect society. No, it is not possible. There is inequalities there in terms of the caste, creed, religion, race. It is the peculiarity of all the society. All the societies, all the kingdoms, human evolution took place through not through egalitarianism but race for egalitarianism at the end. So there is no perfect equal society, but the ideal version, like the welfare state, is a very much ideal version, or Ram Rajya, what Gandhi claims to be, it's ideal version that we are ought to be like that. But it is the process actually. It is the means. So sociology deals with how the society is there. What is the constituent of the society? There is a gender is the constituent of the society. There is a caste is the constituent, then the race, religion, these are the culture. What kind of the society is that? We could able to we could able to identify the society like that. So every society has some kind of the peculiar needs. I will give you one classical example how we use the legal jurisprudence or a conscience of. So one this one, when we look at the abortion in the Anglosphere region or USA, where the Christianity is very much prominent, so there abortion is much very much Herculean task. Like if you do abortion, it is against the Christianity, so it is against the theocracy of the time. So you will going to blasphemy rules are there. Like abortion is a very conservative thing. Like everyone hates the abortion kind of the thing, but it is indirectly tell that killing a fetus is like a killing a person. So they don't let you to kill the person. But the then, I don't wish to take the name, the then Ministry of Women proclaimed that we have liberal laws, that we have the abortion rules up to the 15 or 18 weeks. Some weeks are there. We have such kind of the in India we have the laws that is very much liberal. So abortion is in Indian culture what Indian this needs, and abortion is not at all a problem for anyone. So this is by claiming that it is we are making some liberal laws. It is some kind of the bullshit. So we need to think through, not through the emotion but through the logics. What is the peculiar needs of the society? Like when we come into the Haryana or a Rajasthan region, this one female foeticide or female foeticide means when the girl child born it's being killed. So that is mainly due to the this one illiteracy or some kind of the needs, like if the boy born then we can use him as agricultural labor. Such kind of the traditional notions are there. If we could able to overcome that, if we could able to reduce that, if we could able to make male and female ratio in Haryana or Rajasthan region above 950, then it is a great achievement. The Ministry of Women can claim that we did some kind of the achievement. So the laws needs to be analyzed based on the society. I will give one more example. For example, let us take Scandinavian countries. In that country, it is considered as one of the happiest country in the region. Like there is very less population, more resources. Countries like in Indian societies have more people and less resources. So there is always a competition. There is always a fight for the resources. Like in terms of anything, property or land, anything and everything, there is a competition. So can we apply the same laws, like say the succession acts? Everything can be applied in the same? No, definitely not. So in India, there is a differences there. In Scandinavian countries, there are differences. So we need to understand the laws based on the social needs of the time. For example, Let me take example of this one. Recently, the permanent commission is given to the women. Women empowerment is taking place in the present time. So it's actually a good. Hindu Succession Act is amended in 2004. Women getting the equal rights compared to the male. Compared to the male. So daughters are getting the same kind of the property rights. That is what there is a change in the society. No society is static. Society is going to change based. It is also interconnected to this one. This one economy, political system changes in the economy impact the society as a whole. For example, when we had a time of in the time, let us take the time. This one. Um, you just I read the one book. That is book is called as Power and Progress. In that region, when we use such changes in the technology lead to changes in the society enormously. For example, industrial revolution in the England, what happened increases the population. Even though population increased, their income has not increased. It also increased, but there is inequality is not reduced. The rich become richer, poorer become poorer. Income, the total overall income has been increased. Population has also increased at the same level when we take the 100 years of industrial revolution time. So every society has some kind of the peculiar needs. So legal jurisprudence, we need to use such kind of the social conscience to derive that. I will give one more example. For example, this one in Navtoj Singh Johar case. I think Navtej Singh Johar case, section 377, I think so. That the homosexuality, it was a crime before. Now it is not a crime. Okay, how it is changed? There is a change in society. Modernization took place after 1990. Changes in the economy, changes in the technology that took place. Also changes in the society. We can able to see that LGBTQ rights are more kind of the people like could not know. If you go to the this one US United States, if you tell someone as this one gender he or she, they might going to they got anger, because if you call he or she, they might be a queer. They are creating more than 50 genders. That's why Democrats lost this time. Republican won. Republican, if you look at the speech of Vivek Ramaswamy, he always tell there are only three genders. No, two genders like male and female. He does not consider even transgender also. So only two genders, that male and female. So Democrats, nothing like that. They tell whatever the gender you come, we will give you that kind of the identity. So such kind of the politics is going on in India also. In the next 20 years, we could able to see now the this one is going on same-sex marriage. For example, if the male and male started marrying, or a woman and woman, then what kind of the social imbalance may take place? So they are telling that we are able to make babies through the laboratories and IVF technologies. There are a lot of technologies coming, so we can able to make the babies also. Society can also be stable. So after 30 to 40 years later, that same-sex marriage may be allowed. Same-sex marriage give a legal provision, but Supreme Court told that it is up to the this one legislative conscience. We could not able to make any kind of the laws, and there is no provision in constitution, either in the constitution or in anywhere in the social customs or a tradition. It is a very modern kind of the time. So such kind of the marriage is not accepted in any kind of the Hindu laws or Muslims laws, whatever the this one traditional customs or systems, if we look at it into. So LGBTQ rights is also coming. So gay rights, lot of things is coming. This is the changing in the society. What law need to give? Law need to give legitimacy to these kind of the changes. What we need to use? We need to use the judicial legal jurisprudence to interpret what kind of the changes is changing in the society. And if the lawmakers make such kind of the laws, judges have to look at is the law is benefiting the society? Is the law is up to the conscience of the constitution? Is it violating the basic structure doctrine of the Indian constitution? We need to encompass overall region, and we need to give the justice. So that is what the judges, even the lawyers, look at it to the what kind of the needs is coming, what kind of the changes are arriving in the society. So we need to think holistically. So this is how the sociology and the legal jurisprudence act interlinked to each other. Next comes the philosophy. What is meant by philosophy? If you look at the Socrates, he was one of the greatest and renowned philosopher in India. Also, with his philosopher like Advaita. There are a lot of philosophies. What philosophy? Philosophy is asking questions. What is life? What is the quality of life? What ought to be the life? If I become, what kind of the life I have? If I have the money? It is just like a self introspection, like asking the questions. Law is what? Law is also asking the question. So if you look at the Shabarimala case, there is one question struck down. So can the Supreme Court have any kind of the provision the temple is a Shabrimala case. I think you all know that the women can enter the Shabrimala. Some kind of the women complained that we can enter from at the age of 18 to 55 also. So what it meant to be? What the one question struck down that the temple is not a secular place. The secularism cannot act over there. So temple is out of the ambit. Before the arriving of the constitution was also temple was there, and all the rules and regulations. The Supreme Court have the authority to change that. Some kind of the questions struck down could not able to answer any kind of the interpretation we could not able to derive into. If it could we could able to derive any kind of the interpretation for that from the theology, from our customs, tradition, we could able to find the answer for that. That's why it is on the stake, and no other judgment came actually. Now it is not allowed actually 18 to 55 years. So in the next 50 years it may change. How it changes in the society, social thinking. So what is philosophy? Philosophy is if it ought to be, if the life is like that, if I have to like that, what kind of the changes happen? If this is not what it is, what it could be, what are the possibilities? Choices of possibilities are unlimited. So how we choose those kind of the possibilities? It is what the philosophy asking. Law is also asking, like, how can we best apply the law? How can we implement the law? Plato, if you look at the Aristotle, all the philosophers, what they did, they critically analysis of the thing and they derived into some kind of the notion. If you look at the philosopher, Hegel philosopher, he gave the wonderful philosophy of dialectism. Dialectism means what is dialectism? There is a thesis and antithesis, and it will lead to a synthesis. Means if some kind of the, let us take an example, some kind of the car is there. Okay, that car travels only in 50 kilometer and it has a best engine, and that is the unlimited car in the 1950s or 1960s. So some other company came, some other company make a car which travels at 70 kilometer. It acts as an antithesis, and finally that 70-kilometer car was challenged by one more company, and that's how the human evolution grew. When you look at the whole this one technological or a human evolution, it all arrived through the critical analysis and critical thinking. That is what philosophy, that is what the beauty of the legal jurisprudence is, that it helps us to lawyers to think, judiciary to think beyond the box, to think philosophically, like, is it could we derive this? If this is it going to benefit to the society? Is it going to benefit to a political system? Is it going to benefit to our economy? So overall, our welfare mechanism, it will be going to help that. So such kind of the concerns, how it comes through the philosophy. So philosophy is such a domain; it's just a wonderful thing. And next comes the science. So if you look at the definition, legal jurisprudence is a part of science. So what is meant by science? Science is everything with the data. So we need to understand what it is. Philosophy is what ought to be, or you have that kind of the thinking. If it could be like that, for example, Advaita philosophy, everything is Maya. So we need to think that in the very different circumstances. So science is not like that. Science is also part of philosophy. Philosophy is like it gives the kind of the ideal version of the self. You have the chance. Science is nothing like that. If it is there, you need to prove with the data. Okay, if the water has hydrogen, two atoms of hydrogen, two molecules of hydrogen, and one oxygen atom, means what? You need to prove that. Okay, hydrogen, this is the hydrogen, this is oxygen. Then we comes to that. Science is also always asking the questions. For example, Dalton, you all might have studied in the school. Dalton said that the smallest element in the universe, that is the atom. So atom is the smallest particle. We all made up of the, me, myself and yourself, all are made up of the atoms. So the whole world is made up of the atoms. So then comes the Rutherford and J.J. Thomson. No, in the atom also there is nucleus, there is proton, electron, neutron. What is electricity? Flow of electrons. How it comes? Asking the question, acknowledging the things. Okay, this is not what it is. It is also smaller than many other particles are there. Later science, if you take the time, subatomic particle, quark, lepton. If you study the particle physics, a lot of things will you can arrive that Higgs boson. Lot of still also there are n number of the particles we are searching for in the universe. So lot of things are there. So science is all about how it is there, how it is not like that, how it ought to be, how it is, how it can be, like that. We need to exact with the data. Okay, exaction, scientific evidence must be there. It is based on the evidence study. Law can also be a science. How it is science? It is a tool of social engineering. We take the data. For example, if we have to make some kind of the laws, we take the data of the society. If we make any kind of the tax laws, we need to make how many rich persons are there, so that I can put the taxation of 30%. Is 30% is fine? And do I have to put any kind of the luxury tax, sin goods, sin taxes on them? Do I have to put, if the transaction is over transaction is taking place in the stock market, do I have to increase the capital gain tax, so that the people may consider to put money in the bank rather than trading in the stock market? Financialization of the sector, is it going to benefit for the society as a whole? So such kind of the thinking we need to do, then only we can come into the picture. So science like that, in the law also we can, law is also kind of the taking place, legal jurisprudence, that's how we use it, is also called as a science. Okay, fine. Then comes the this one, economy. How the economy is impacting in legal jurisprudence. For example, after 1990s, many of the this one, when we look at into the changes in the society, I already told the behavior of ourselves when we have 100 rupees, when we have a 1 crore rupees, it is drastically different. Okay, it applies to the society also. When the society becomes richer, there is a peculiar problem is inevitable. It is a rich society, it's a poor society, it is having its own kind of the problems. So what law is? Law is to solve that problem or minimize that problem. It is not to avoid, but it is to reduce that kind of the chaos and the conflict. So this one, how the economy changes after 1991 liberalization, private LPG reform. It is said that is we move towards the privatization of the public sector. We are inviting more kind of the foreign investment to the India. What it happened? It changed the society. And later judgment, look at the later judgment. 2004 only why Succession Act came. It could have come in 1956. No? It was antithetical to the constitutional morality. Article 14 and 15 violation. No? You are not giving equal property to the daughters. That time only we can would have go to the court, Supreme Court, or that. No, at that time that was not at all needed for us. Actually, after 1991, economy was changing. If the economy need to change more, like economic growth have to be need to become big. If the GDP need to grow, women have to have the work. Women have to go for a work, because there is a lot of employment. There is a lot of opportunity for a woman. If women start, if we restrict the woman, it becomes like a Taliban regime. You are just limiting 50% of the workforce. It is tragic for the any economical growth. So this women empowerment and all that is mainly due to the changes in the economy and nothing else. What legal jurisprudence have to do over here? As the change in economy, there is a lot of peculiar problem comes, such as hawala funding, money laundering, such as the many other problems come. For example, inequality comes. So a lot of the corruption will get drastically increases, concentration of the wealth in the richer person. So what laws needs to be, lawmakers as well as the judiciary have to think like that. There is a equitability. For example, in the next video, I will going to explain about the equitable interpretation of the laws. There I will going to explain about how we need to equitably interpret the things, so that we can able to make equal society is just a myth. Society can never become equal, because we have all kind of the diverse mentality. But equitable society can be in a very appropriate to tell that equitability and equality, it's very much different factors. Okay, then next comes the political system. Political system, what is meant by constitution? Constitution is a political system. Before that, what was that? Before that, all of the laws were there. Manusmriti was the law, Dharma Shastra was a law, so Narada Smriti was a law. So lot of lot of laws were there. And constitution was that. Constitution is adoption of the modern laws, from which is derived in the UK, which has a very liberal principles, as well as just for this time being. Okay, it is very much just for the time being. So that is what the political system is. That legal jurisprudence, for example, many cases are there. When you look at the constitution, Maneka Gandhi case, basic structure doctrine, I will explain it in the next class. So the political system changes, the legal interpretation of the laws also changes. For example, if you look at the Golaknath case or a Champakam to Rajan case, we were more, last class also I explained that we told that article 21, article 14, or article 15, I hope you all might know that article 14 and 15 deals with right to equality, article 21 right to life. No person shall be deprived the right to life and liberty until unless except procedure established by law. we adopted the strict principle. 1950 to 1973, if you look at that time, 1967 time, Golaknath case time, we adopted the constitution very much as it is. But later there is a tussle, like independence judiciary was threatened during the time of the Indira Gandhi ji time. After 1961, a lot of cases like Golaknath case, Maneka Gandhi case, Minerva Mill case, then the basic structure doctrine, Keshwananda Bharti case, it changed the whole constitutional, how we interpreted the constitution. It whole drastically changed. Basic structure doctrine. Even the Ambedkar was not knowing basic structure doctrine means what. Even the Jawaharlal Nehru might not never heard about the basic structure doctrine. How it came? It actually came in the German, mainly due to the that the Weimar constitution was destroyed by the Hitler. So if the constitution being altered drastically, there might be a dictatorship that can take place. That is how our conscience work. That is how the political system might going to change if we could not able to take any kind of the actions. So basic structure doctrine was derived in 1973. So it was a very good judgment. What changed? There is a change in the political system. Political system is these three: society, polity, and economy. These three works one on another. There is no drastic difference. This is the political system. This is the economy. This is the society. No. So what legal jurisprudence we need to interpret and encompass the law as per the changes over here. Then comes the ethics and morality. For example, you go to the Sentinelese tribes, Andaman Nicobar, if you visit that, Sentinelese, they have that primitive culture, like they are as old as 30 to 40,000 years back. They don't know how to make the woolen clothes. They they are like literally, you can Google them, they are literally drastically different from the way we work. They don't know any other languages rather than their own Sentinelese languages. Oranges, Sinhalese. There are various 3, 4 tribes where there is population is also very much less. And so what Supreme Court told them, that like their life, their culture, that must be, we need to respect them. They can't hunt the animal, they can do anything and everything over their concerns. Could not able to touch them. That is what ethics of the society is. That they have that kind of the customary morality. It is called as customs. I also include the culture, what is meant by culture. For example, if you look at the fifth and sixth schedule, it is directly deals with the tribal regions. For example, autonomous district council, if you take that, Assam, Mizoram, there are very much tribal council. They have their own governing body. So you might have probably asked that, isn't it antithetical to the Article 14 and 15 of the Constitution? We don't have any kind of the bodies to govern us, like literally local bodies does not have as power as their autonomous district council. If you look at the Assam, Mizoram region, there are various autonomous district councils are there. So isn't it antithetical to the basic principle or basic structure doctrine? No. Ethics and morality. So customary morality, you can customs, their culture needs to be entangled. So it must be taken into the picture. So that is the culture part. If you look at the ethics and the morality, many of the if someone using the revolver is unethical in India. In the India, if you go to the keeping the, it is considered in the present time, it is unethical. It is also illegal keeping the revolver. Okay, but if you go to the US, it is a culture. It is that part of the tradition. It is part of their ethics. Keeping it is ethical in nature. Some states are, it is legal. Hunting in the Arctic region, it is very much legal. But in India, it is illegal. But maybe a moral, like maybe moral. There might not be. There is always a difference between the ethics. There are a lot of things are there. For example, respecting the parents or a husband and wife relation. It is also this one. Considering that one, it's a God made a union or something. Such kind of the moral things are there in India. But in US, it is just a contract. You go, you have a live-in relationship. No issues at all. It is ethical. Live-in relationship is very much ethical in US region. But in India, it is now becoming ethical. But in 10 years or 15 years back, it is unthinkable. So society is changing. Ethics also change based on the economy, society, technology is changing. So our ethical compass is also changing the way the society changes, social domain changes. So a lot of things are there. So this is how the legal jurisprudence is multidisciplinary, means it has opportunity to think out of the box. I might be wrong in anywhere and everywhere, so you can have all kind of the critics on me. Like I don't wish to tell about the these kind of the exam important kind of the thing like Salmon laws. These are all very much easy. If you could able to understand these kind of the concept, these are going to be very much easier, so that you can consider to like, share, and subscribe if your discussion of conscience feels so. It is a non-monetized one, just for intellectual pleasure. and you can share with other lawyers as well